guys, it's Daniel with Classic Auto Appraiser. We're just going to do a quick call today because we found this 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle. And where did we find it? We found it on what I believe to be a scam website. And this is called Duncan Automotive. Duncan Automotive, if you're real, that's great. I'm not trying to slander you, but when this is everything I can find about you, I'm goofing this up real good. Duncan Classics, and it's not Duncan Imports. This is a real place. This is a real website. I've been to this place. This is great. The place I got the call about is right here, Duncan Classics. Now look at that. That's a interesting little rendition. Also, it's so blurry. Come on, internet. Well, maybe that's not going to load, and that's fine. But the thing that you should pay attention to is where they put their marker for doing business. So if Duncan Classics actually exists, they are doing their business out of a parking lot for many of Knoxville, in Knoxville, Tennessee, Grayson BMW. Pure Magic Car Wash? Really? Right there? No storefront? No classic cars? This is already a red flag. Not to mention, if you look at this, I wish it would pull it up. Do these cars look a little off to you? Because they kind of do to me, and the closer you look, maybe the stranger it gets. Because it says Google Maps, but the funny thing is, if I actually get on here and I want to go look at Duncan Classics, I am not going to find it. So here is the mini BMW. Do you see anything that looks like, and look, I'm going to point the little man towards the dot. We'll keep going down though, because there's Pure Magic where they're supposedly at. See any classic cars? I sure don't. I'm getting tired of these scams too, because I'm more than happy to help people. But this is just really frustrating that people call and they get their hopes up. They're interested in finding a classic. And I mean, just fair being fair, it is too good to be true. That is generally how this goes. 9 times out of 10, at least they don't have the gall to absolutely rake you over the coals for what the car is actually worth. They want you to act fast because it's a deal. And I mean, that's the whole deal with this Chevelle. $31,900. So, I mean, which is nothing for a 396 car with a manual in this condition. And condition is everything, as you know. I mean, people will pay out the nose for the right conditioned vehicle, and I'm hoping I still have that Haggerty tab pulled up, although this whole recording thing is in the way. There's a Mustang. We'll just pull it again. These are other cars I was looking into that they have. So let's look. 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle. Here it is. 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle. Doesn't matter if it's an L78, L34, L89. Number 3 condition. This is kind of middle of the road. Look at what the number 3 is bringing. The car that we looked at is better than middle of the road. So, kind of problematic, right? Especially when you look at what the number 1s and number 2s look like. Number 3 runs and drives well. Flaws not noticeable to most passerbys. Most common condition. And if you wanted to know more about the conditions, you can read on, because Haggerty is more than happy to tell you, and it's very helpful. But judging by, which I always think this is funny, I don't know why this is done this way, but look at what a number 2 is. You can still see some of the blemishes. Number 3 more so. A 350, not sure what that's about, unless they're saying there's a 350 in that Mustang, which they could be saying, because they may have some incorrect parts, and that definitely qualifies. But again, just keep in mind, this is way underpriced for what this vehicle is. How it presents, how it looks, its equipment setup. Anyways, you've seen all that. So that was just sort of the build-up saying, this is not real, but just to do beyond my fair share of due diligence, we're going to call this guy, and we're going to see what's going on. See if anything comes of it. So, 865-378-6826 is their phone number. We're calling them now. We'll put them on speaker. And I'm not sure how garbly this will sound coming through the mic, but we'll give it a go.
Automotive. Our working hours are 9 to 5. We can't take your call right now, but please leave a message and someone will call you as soon as possible.
Hi, my name is Daniel. I'm interested in the 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle in Fathom Blue that you have. It's listed at $31,900. I'd be really interested in talking to someone. If you can call me back at 865 304 0749, I'd be more than happy to talk. Have a great day. Hope to talk to you soon. Well, no response, but maybe we'll just call again. Try to look like we're urgently needing this.
Thank you for calling Duncan Automotive. Our work.
Well, not doing great there, but where was this? See if they'll call back and just keep trying a couple different things in the meantime. Oh, is it really that easy? Duncan Imports and Classic Cars in Christiansburg. I need to see that. The hedge, that's what I'm looking for, so I want to see. That just doesn't seem to be where they take their photos. Is the AI search just tied up because Duncan... Nice RX-7, pretty sweet. I guess we could... Yeah, no, that's... Watermark is fake. We'll see if that does anything. Probably not. I'm probably not even searching the best things I could be. But I'm really trying to figure out because it seems like the exact match for the visual search isn't working because the watermark is so conveniently replaced. You know what? Let's just see what I can do. Some horrible stuff of me. interesting. It's a white top car. I'm not even sure what it's doing. Okay. This is helpful. Using this prompt, was the subject image edited with AI? Although its reasoning's not great. This is what I cared about right there. Because some of that might be valid, but cars were not made perfectly symmetrical. They're made in the real world. Even the ones that are made in the most gorgeous factories aren't going to come out perfect. Okay, so can I... What can I do here? Open it in editor. See how easy it is to remove the background. Bam. Look at that. Crazy. Crazy what you can do with the internet tools. Oop, don't want to do that. Copy. Paste. Ooh, who's this? 378-6826. Oh, here we go. Hello, this is Daniel.
Yeah, hi there. I'm calling back from Duncan Classics. We got a missed call from you.
Oh, yeah. I was just interested in this 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle that you all had on your...
The person you are trying to reach is not accepting calls at this time.
I wonder
Please try your call
why.
again later. La persona con la que intenta comunicarse.
Well, that kind of proved my point. Not only did I not hang up, he instantly hung up, and now the phone
The
number.
person you are trying to reach is not accepting calls at this time. Please try your call again later.
Oh, I'll try again
La
later.
persona con la
Don't
que
you worry. Golly, that's just good. Alright, what was I doing? Goofing off over here. So we're going to download that image with it cropped out. Sure, I don't care. Oh, old downloads folder, my friend. Chevelle edited. Pull that sucker up. Now show me the car. Please. I still feel like I should be probably trying to find the background. Nope. Well, you try and you try. I think I still just want to get rid of that. If I get rid of that garbage, maybe I could do something. Magic edit maybe? Remove the watermark in the bottom left hand corner. Do it. Do it. Oh! Oh well. I'll just brush it. Select an area. Click it up. Oh, you found it. Let's get rid of that garbage. Can you do that? No, I don't want a background remover. May be a better option for this edit if you want the whole thing stripped. I don't. I want the image before they start slapping their garbage on it. Oh, buddy! Hot diggity dog. There it is. There she be, ladies and gents. Why am I dumber than dumb? Help! There it is. Whew! Oh. Yes, sirree. We'll just call it 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle. So, if this is the extra step I have to take from now on to find these photos, it's just going to be whatever, but... Where did this image come from? Okay, well, I guess I'm just going to screw around here and see if I can find it. Chevrolet. Chevelle. Why was that so hard? See, that's the problem though. I can't trust AI for nothing. That's what an East Tennessean would say. That's why I said it. I don't know why I acted like those hedges were... They obviously use a turntable to shoot most of their stuff. Oh, how the tables turn. Fine, 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 fine. Baby, come back. You can blame it all on me. Alrighty, let's see. This makes me want to put that shotgun mic in my mouth. This is just insufferable. So the fact that ye olde website hosters can't take your call and aren't willing to talk to you, that's one thing. I just also don't know why these photos are so hard to find. Because they haven't been in the past. So scammers are getting smarter. That's one thing. They definitely can be pretty clever with some of it. It's kind of brutal. Kind of brutal. Kind of brutal. Nope. Use a vinyl top on it. And these thumbnails are only getting me so far. Well, this might be an unsolvable mystery for someone with one brain cell like me. But at least you all know what to look for. If the amount of evidence points towards it being just an absolute scam and they're trying to rip you off, then go with that. And you know, I'm not saying don't trust anyone, but when you look at the website, wherever it is, there we go, and you want to see some transparency out of it, like where are the people? Like, look at this dum-dum, okay? Look at this. See this idiot? He actually put his face on here. This guy, this dum-dum, this guy's great. But this guy, yeah, this idiot, you can see him and then you can talk to him and you can search him. I actually don't want to know how many of my faces I can find online. But there's a lack of transparency, so red flag. You know, I get that it's a place that they're listing and selling cars, but most people are willing to put their face somewhere. Like here's one that I know is real that we have done. Wow, typing is hard. I can't wait for this to be spelled wrong. Oh! You know what? Pretty sure they don't have the E in there. Look at that, they don't. But I was just struggling. I can't wait for them to prove me wrong and they won't have faces on here. Well, looks like I get to eat dirt today, like every day of the week. They used to have, it's either a video or a photo showing the guys. Maybe they still have it? Well, you know what? Color me wrong. I just really thought we were gonna... Can that music stop? Thank you. Well, well, well. At this point, you could just throw out everything I say, except for the stuff about this 100% being a scam. Just some other weird red flags. I mean, yeah, the prices, the cars, all being an absolute steal. But who actually markets a Shelby GT500 as a Mustang? 1968 Ford Mustang. Yeah, they're asking Shelby GT500 KR? They didn't put that up here? They didn't want that in the search engine optimization? That's just not how it's going to be. I mean, or at the very least, I know Classic.com, they'll do 1968 Ford Mustang Shelby GT500, something like that, but it's just weird. Yeah, Ford Shelby Mustang GT500 KR. Something along those lines. Well, I hope this was helpful to someone somewhere, and that you do your due diligence. You look up the places that you're thinking about possibly buying from, seeing how legitimate they are, and just kind of going with that, because when things are screwy, they're generally screwy and not real. So to wrap up that long-winded video I had on the Chevelle, it appears that Google Images can't use Lens to find me an exact match because, well, this background, it's actually my mom who pointed it out, which is hilarious. Good on you, Mom, for having a good eye. Notice that the hedge was inconsistent as far as like its height and its shape, which is, it's on point for AI. It's going to make it look different every time, even if it's the same hedge that was cut by the same people. It would generally be cut at the same height, and the cars actually vary in scale in relation to the hedge, or the hedge is changing drastically. But it was interesting to see how wrong AI was willing to be trying to answer this. Asked it to ignore the watermark. It still said the inventory was from Duncan Import Classic Cars, and after an exhaustive search, which I just from glancing at it, I was 100% certain it wasn't real, but I always talk about due diligence, so I went and looked at every listing they had of one and tried to find the setting in which they would have shot this, and there is not one. I couldn't find any Chevelles that they had in this color combination with the vinyl top with the equipment either that was listed there. So, and so was the subject edited with AI? Yep, it was, and it says you can see the fingerprinting. I got rid of the watermark, resubmitted the image into the chat. and it still wanted to insist it was from Duncan Imports and Classic Cars, which I just told it was not even close. Not the nicest way, but you're literally just feeding something in to something to get something out. This is not a real person, so keep that in mind. I love this. You're completely right to call that out. Yeah, okay. So I decided to go with No Reserve Classics. Looked at their website. They have nothing that would make sense for this kind of vehicle. Especially if you just get to their actual listings. They focus mostly on resto mod stuff, as you can see from the photos, and late model stuff. Anywho, searched that website as thoroughly as I knew how, and just told it was wrong again. And because you can see the 396, you can see the 4-speed. The previous assessments were completely off base. This is why you shouldn't trust what's being spat out, because it will make assumptions. It'll just tell you stuff that's flat out wrong. Even if you have it deep think or deep research, it just go do the research yourself. You're so much better off looking things up, reading reputable sources. Reputable sources would be people that or you know, it doesn't have to just be me, but I would see as qualified as being in the industry for decades, if not longer. Hot Rod Magazine, for instance, is great. Road and Track. You want to get into stuff that's good at valuing. The Collector Car Market Review is solid. Haggerty is solid. Classic.com, solid. There's a lot of good info. Books are great too. Real authors that have history in the industry. Find something written by Lee Iacocca, Bob Lutz. These guys worked the real jobs. They were, and the two I just mentioned were significant persons that shaped automobile history very significantly. But like even Ben Collins, the Stig, as most of you know him from the original trio of Top Gear. These are just the things that I will go to before trying to get a summary to try to prove anything that I'm going to believe. I get that people use them all the time in conversations because they're easy to refer to, but this just kind of proves to me I don't need to be using it. So, even in trying to find out if it's AI generated or real. So, but what it came out with is the car is real, which I believe. It looks real. The guy I spoke to that brought this car up to me said he had a Chevelle specialist look it over and said everything looked good. He didn't look it over in person, to be clear. He looked it over online before even going out. But the background, again, is AI. And this is where, again, I have to give kudos to my mother. So you look at these cars, and at first I was thinking, well, yeah, it's probably just the angle, but some of this stuff just looks way off. Like way, way off when you think about the scale of the vehicles, too. Kind of weird. Maybe even a little embarrassed I didn't notice some of this stuff. Look at that little patch there. That's not there. And there's a dip now where it's just even. Yeah. Well, you know. It pays to listen and have other people confirm your work, but just be wise. Buy cars from reputable sources, and I will tell 9/10 of the population, unless you're that 10% that can just buy things sight unseen and it doesn't affect you when you spend tens of thousands of dollars on something and you want to take that risk. Always go see the car. Just make sure it's real. So, thanks everyone, and I hope you have a great rest of your Monday.